we discussed about the product, we discussed about the product line, we discussed about the product width, right, and how to develop a new product, what all should be taken care of when we are developing a new product. We discussed about the product life cycle, right, we discussed the various aspects during the various product phases of the life cycle, about the profit, about the sales and other things. Today we'll start with branding concept and evolution. What is brand, right? Brand, as we say ki, right, we want to purchase the product of that brand, this brand, but what the brand means? Brand is nothing but it's a name or a term or a design or a symbol or any other feature that distinguishes the one seller's good or the services from the other sellers. That is brand. Brand could be the name, sign, symbol or any other feature that distinguishes the one seller's product from the other sellers. That is known as brand, right? A good brand name can cut down the advertising cost. Why brand name is very important, right? When your brand name is good, brand is what? See, it is very important to form a niche in the brand. Is basically what it is, making a niche in customer's mind, right? When the customer knows about your product, about the name of your company, about the name of your product or a particular seller's product or the services, it means that that you have created a niche or a special space in the mind of the customer. That is the brand, right? So a good brand name can cut down the advertising cost, right? And a non-alternative brand name can force to add more money at your advertising for the same impact, right? Assuming that all other variables are maintained at the same level in both situations, right? So brand is what? Brand could be the name. Brand is the name, sign, symbol, design, right, or any other feature that distinguishes the one seller's product or services from the other sellers, right? And the brand name, a good brand name cut down the advertising cost, right? While a non-branded product or a non-brand name can force one to add more money to the advertising, right? While we keep every other factor and the variable constant, right? So it is very important to create a brand. What is a branding? Branding is a process, a tool, a strategy and an orientation. Branding. Brand is what? A sign, symbol. Brand is sign, symbol, name or anything, right? Branding. Branding is a tool, right? It's a strategy and an orientation, right? It is a process. Branding is a process. You are creating. Branding is what? Branding is a process of creating a niche in the mind of the customer, right? It is a process. It is a tool, right, of creating a niche in the mind of the customer. It is a strategy and an orientation. Branding as an ongoing process helps to establish and build a long-term symbolic association between the marketer and consumer in response of changing needs and wants by the product offering for mutual beneficial arrangements. So what is brand? As we see LG, right? What comes? We see a symbol written LG. What comes in our mind? Brand name LG, right? When we see an eaten apple, right? What comes in our mind? Product of Apple company, right? Right. Similarly, there are many other brands, right, or a name, right, which distinguishes one seller from the other's seller, right? So branding is a process. It's a tool. It's an orientation. It's a strategy, right? And it's an ongoing process. Why do we need branding, right? It's an ongoing process to create a relationship or to build a relationship or a symbiotic relationship between the marketer and the consumer, right? As I said, whenever we see a symbol of an eaten apple, what comes in our mind? Apple, company Apple, right? So this is branding. It's an ongoing process, and in this process, right, we create a long term relationship with the customer. Branding is also viewed as an external and reliable promotional tool, right, for creating mass awareness, for projecting and positioning a product in the mind of the target customer, the authenticating product attributes and satisfying that they would deliver by adoption. So देखो, it's an organizing ongoing process, right? It's a process. Branding is an ongoing process. It helps in establishing a relationship between the customer. It's a tool, right? Is viewed as a promotional tool, right? Branding is a process. Branding is a tool, right? It's an ongoing process, right? It helps in creating a relationship between the customer and the manufacturer or the marketer, right? Branding is a tool. We can use the branding as a tool, right? Or it is used as a promotional tool by creating the mass awareness, right? That is for projecting the product or positioning a product in the mind of the target customer, right? It could be through the authenticated product attributes that could satisfy the needs of the customer. So it's a process of creating a niche in the mind of the target customer, right? Positioning your brand or positioning your product, creating a position of your product in the mind of the customer, right? Despite of the available quite satisfying product in the market, place the satisfied customer with the brand would not want nor make attempt to spend additional effort to evaluate the other alternative choices in the category. Why this branding is important? When you have created a niche in the mind of the customer, right, they might need some product and many other products would be available which could satisfy their needs. But when you have created a niche in the mind of the customer, right, they would not like to put much efforts on comparison and contrasting or evaluating the alternative choices in the categories, right? By default we feel like that we use the product of this company or this brand, right, that is good, we'll purchase the product of another product of the same brand. Or we already have used the same product and we need that product again, we have used the product of that company or of that brand, then again if I want the same product, I would buy the same product, right? So it is what it is, that is when you have created a niche in the mind, that branding helps in by branding, how it helps the marketer, that they don't prefer to or they don't want to and they would not like to spend much time on evaluating the alternative. By default they could move to your product, right? Branding helps in easy differentiation or identification, right, and stands out apart from the competitive product in the category, and they are by developing a close affinity and linkage by the target customer group, right? How branding helps? Branding helps in identification, right? It helps in identification, as I said, by looking at the symbol of a particular brand, right, or name of a particular brand, we can identify the product of that company, product of that brand, right? LG, Onida, right? Samsung, right? Or Apple, right? So, or Tata, right? So by using that brand on the, that is by seeing the symbol on the cars, right, we can make out the car of which company, right? Volkswagen or Renault or Maruti, right? So branding helps in identification and it helps in differentiations and stands out apart from the competitors, right? It helps in identification, differentiation, and helps to stand apart from the competitive product in the category, right? And thus developing a close affinity in the target customer group. The branding comes handy to the marketer as a weapon for clear distinction of their product, more so when the product nature is such that it would be difficult to distinguish in terms of visible features, right? Such in case of services and the product like cement and the fertilizers, right? Branding, although branding plays a very important role, branding is a process, branding is a tool creating a niche, but branding plays a very important role in such conditions where it is difficult, where it would be difficult to distinguish in terms of visible features, right? On the visible feature, when you cannot distinguish the product on the visible features, like in case of cements or the fertilizers, or in case of the services, what type of the services A service provider will provide and what type of the services B service provider will provide, right? It is difficult to distinguish because there are no clear visible features, right? There the branding plays a very important role, right? We trust those which have a good, those companies which have a very good brand name, right? We prefer to buy a product from those which have a good brand name. So branding plays very important role in those companies or in that industry where it is difficult to distinguish in terms of visibility features, right? Branding is used strategically for strategy formulation for the target group in response of their changing taste and preferences by developing, offering customized product backed with the effective communication and supported by the visual to match and keep pace with customer lifestyle and expectations, right? It is a we discussed that branding is a process, branding is a tool, it's a promotional tool, right? It helps in creating a niche, and branding is a strategy, right? Branding is a strategy is it helps in strategy that it helps in formulation of target group in response to their changing taste, right? We, as per the changing taste of our target customers, right, we try to customize the product, right, as per the changing taste of the target customer, and this is backed with the effective communication and supported by the visuals to match, right? We prefer to the branding is a strategy, right, as per the changing taste of the customer, that the marketers try to cope up their product as per the changing taste of the customer, and this is actually backed with the effective communication. This communication is important, that and the apart from this communication, along with this communication, that the visual it is supported by the visuals to match, right? We can clearly distinguish the features or the new features of the product, right, to keep pace with the lifestyle and the expectations of the customer, right? So brand creations and the brand building by the marketer should be well defined and conscious task, keeping the customers on the top of the mind. Branding always facilitate easy and quick decision making in the purchase process, right? So that is the objective of branding, should be very clear, right? And they should make a conscious decisions on brands or brand building or the brand creation, and they should always keep the customer on the top of their mind, right? And this branding always facilitate easy and quick decision in making purchase processes. Branding also attract customers, pull and help retain customer to its fold over their rivals offering for quality, personal satisfaction and developing loyalties for the same. Branding plays a very important role for the marketer, right? Branding helps to pull the customer, right? They helps to pull the customer. We prefer to buy a branded product rather than a non-branded product, right? Even if we want to purchase a bread, right, if there are two packets of bread, one is a branded product, right, of a company, say Britannia, Harvest or Oven Bread, right, and there is another packet of bread which is not branded product, right, that is by a local bakery, that is from the local bakery, what we'll prefer to buy the product of that known name, of that known brand name. So branded attract the customer pull, right, and it helps to retain the customer, right. Even though there is a difference in the what we say, that is the difference uh, uh, in the price, right, but still the brand we prefer to, normally people prefer to buy a branded product, even for the small things, right. So brand attracts the customer, it pulls the customer, it helps to retain the customer, right, over the rival offerings for quality and personal satisfaction. It could be because of the quality, and the quality could be the same. Maybe the same baker would have been baking for the breads for both companies, right, but again for the customer personal satisfaction and developing loyalties for the same. So branding helps in developing loyalties, personal satisfaction, right, quality, right, and it helps in retaining and pulling new customer, right. From the marketer's angle, strong brand does help in building a strong foundation for the promotion of additional product, right. Suppose if some brand is a well known brand, and if they are offering something new or additional, they added a new product in their product line, so this already created brand helps in promotion of the additional product, that new brand. So this branding plays a very important role. Branding is creating, it's a promotional tool, it's a process, it's a strategy. Actually it helps in creating a niche in the target customer, and branding helps in attracting a new customers and maintaining the loyalty of the already existing customers, right. And if branding helps in promotion of the or it makes easy the promotion of the additional products, right. Branding policy decision. In considering and making branding decision, a firm has to consider factors like target customer. While you are while you want to, if company is considering to make a brand, right, or they are taking some branding related decision, the firm has to consider the factor or keep in mind the various factors such as the target customer. Who is your target customer, right? On the basis of the target customer, you can make strategies for the branding, right? Then target market, right? Which market you want to capture, target market, their cultural influences. Culture plays a very important role, right, on the market, and the impact of brand on business strategies, right, and as per your business strategies, create a brand, right, values, attitude, and the cultural aspect of the target customers. So branding policy decisions, while taking a branding related policy decision, the marketer should keep in mind various type of things like in mind, like the target customer. Who is your target customer? Whether you are offering that product for the masses or for the classes, accordingly you can brand your product, right? If your product is for masses, then the masses are price sensitive, right, and classes are not price sensitive. So target customer, so it is important that while you are branding your product, right, brand it on the basis of target customer, on the basis of target market, right, which market you would like to grab, right, on the target market. Then the culture plays a very important role in branding process, right. If you are branding a product, if you are branding the product or your company or anything which is not as per the values of the society or as per the culture of the society, then the society, there are the chances that society will not accept that, right? So you should build it as per the culture and the attitude and the value of the society or the target customer. What is the attitude of the customer, right? What they think, what is their perception, what are the values of that customer, right? And the cultural aspect of the target customer. So one should keep in mind all these things, right? Manufacturer, the brand decision a firm has to take are the manufacturer name, whether they have its own name on all the product, or marketing organization or distributor brand name, or adopt a mix of two. So while a company or while an organization is taking a branding decision, right? So there could be there are various factors which a marketer or the organization should consider. That is the whether they want to create a name brand on the name of the manufacturer, that is they want to create a brand on manufacturer names, that is whether they have its own name on all the product who is manufacturing that product, or they want the marketing organ, they want to create a brand on the name of marketing organization or distributor brand name, right? Or a mix of two, that is the manufacturer name as well as the distributor's brand name, right? So it depends on the marketer, that is on what basis, on what there are certain criterias, right, on which you can make a brand, right? Then the family brand name, that is the extending family name to new products like Onida did to the other product like washing machine, music system, etc. That is the family brand name. Whether that is if you have a brand and you want to extend the family name to the new products, right? You are adding a new product to the product line, and you are using the same brand name for your for the product, the same brand name, like, right? That is the for washing machine, Anida's washing machine, Anida's or the Videocon's music system, or the Samsung refrigerator, Samsung TV, Samsung music system, right? So it depends, right? Individual brand name, right, is a practice which is most of the consumer product firms like P&G adopt for its toiletries and other personal care product. That is the individual brand name, that you are giving the brand name to the individual product, right? Like brand name Lux, right? Or say Maggie. Maggie itself is a brand name, although it's a product of a Nestle, right? Nestle is a brand, but do we know that the Maggie is a product of Nestle? What they have done, they have given an individual brand name to those noodle, Maggie, right? Whenever we go to the market to purchase a noodle, what we say? Maggie, give us Maggie, a packet of Maggie. Rather than asking for the noodles of Nestle company, what we say? Give a Maggie, right? Any noodle for us is a Maggie, right? Right, whether it's other it could be other companies product, other companies noodle, but what we say that a well known name for the noodle is a Maggie, so Maggie itself is a brand. So one has to take the decision whether they want to create a name, brand name, on the basis of the manufacturer's name, or on the name of the distributor, or on the mix of two. Or next is family brand name. If the company wants to sell all its product under one name, that is the family brand name, that is like Samsung refrigerators, Samsung washing machines, Samsung televisions, Samsung music system, Samsung phones, right? So family brand name. Or it could be the individual brand name, whether you want to brand a product or sell off the product, and you want to give a brand name to a particular product like Maggie, right? Like Lux, right? So this is an individual brand name. So one has to decide it. Manufacturer brand policy. Manufacturer has built a reputation in the market with a strong and a wide distribution network and a sound financial resources to establish a new product in the market. Consumer faith and confidence in the firm is the prime factor in manufacturing decide to brand the product on its own name, right? When a company or a manufacturer decides to brand the product on its own name, when they have built a reputation in the market, right? That is, they have a wide distribution network and they have a sound financial resources. They are financially sound. They have a widely distributed distribution network, strong and widely distributed network. They have a reputation in the market, right? And the customer has a faith and confidence in the firm, right? And the customer has a faith and confidence in the firm, right? Then in this case, manufacturer decide to brand the product on its own name, right? When the manufacturer markets such product on his own name nationally, it is called the national brand policy, right? Like Maruti, like Raymond, like Tata, Reliance, right? And other companies, right? All these are when the manufacturer has a repo in the market, right? When they have a strong financial resources, right? They have a strong and widely distributed distribution network, right? And the consumer has a faith and confidence in the firm. These are the prime factor when the manufacturer decides a brand name on his own. There are many examples, and when the manufacturer market their product in its own name, that is known as the national brand policy. Tata Namak, right? Tata Tea, right? Tata Cars, right? Tata Nano, many other cars of Tata Heavy Vehicles, right? Tata Steel, right? So when people have faith, the manufacturer prefer to use their name as a brand name. Then the family brand namely generally recommend in the view of high cost associated in creating a new brand, as also where recognition of the corporate name along with positive association in it, right? Product can be managed quickly at low cost under the established brand name because they can take advantage of the existing trust of the customer, right? Family branding, right? And efforts and marketing cost are lower than the single brand strategy. When one can go for the family branding, see, actually we all know that branding is a costliest affair, right? It needs lot of financial resources, right? So because branding costs high, right? So they because it is a costliest affair, so at times company prefers to use their existing brand name, right? When the company know that products can be managed quickly at low cost under the established brand name, because company has an established brand name, and because they have an established brand name and the people consumer trust, right? Trust that brand or the company, right? So company can take advantage of that existing trust and knowledge of the customer by using the same brand name, right? Say Tata is a well-known name, Samsung is a well-known name, right? So they have already created a brand and the customer trust these companies, right? So they can use the same brand name or the family brand name for their product, right? Branding efforts and the branding cost are lower than the single brand strategy. It impacts them financially. The major disadvantage of the family brand is the failure of a new product introduced may impact the existing family brand and create some dissonance among the existing customer. The thing is, right, if you are adding a new product under the family brand name, right, which is a well-known name and people trust brand name, if in case the new product fails, then it brings a bad name to that brand, right? It impacts the existing family brand and can create some dissonance among the customers, right? People start believing that now they are not providing the good products. Family branding is also known as umbrella branding. For instance, Dove in the mother brand name used for the soap, shampoos, conditioner, face wash, deodorants, and so on. So family brand is also known as the umbrella brand, right? That is the umbrella brand. You can offer many product under with the same name, like in case of, as I have given the example of Dove, right? They are offering the face wash, right, deodorant, then conditioner, and soaps and shampoos and many other products, right? In order to safeguard the existing brand reputation from the repercussion of not so successful introductions, the policy of individual branding is used by many large corporations, right, to avoid that failure of a product, or which can impact the brand name of the company, right? Many larger corporation introduces a policy of individual branding rather than using that family branding, right? Individual branding policies. What is individual branding policies? Firms choosing a distinct name for each of their offering, of giving different name to each of their product, right? What is the individual branding? That the firm chooses a distinct name for each of their offering, of giving different name to each of their product, right? Now that is, they are giving an distinct name to each of their offering, and that different name for each of their product. They are using the different name for their products, each product. The advantage of individual brand name lying in the strong market penetration of the product across a well-defined segment, right? So that is, if you are giving an individual name or the individual brand name to your products, right? That is the advantage of this is that the strong market penetration, you can penetrate in the market of that product across the various well-defined segment, right? You can it become easier to penetrate the market, right? The company can try different marketing approaches without impacting the parent brand name, right? So they can use the different marketing approach for without impacting the parent brand name. Suppose if some company or some brand is providing the product for the classes, not for the masses. Now they have introduced a product for the masses. Now if they will brand that product with the family brand name, it can impact the existing brand, right? Then the people might start thinking that now this product is not for the class, this brand is not for the classes, it is for the masses, right? But rather than that, what company can do, that they have introduced a new product for the masses with a different brand name. Now they can apply different marketing strategies, right? Marketing approaches or strategies without impacting their existing brand, which is for classes. Now this is for masses, right? They can adopt different marketing approaches, and it will not impact their parent brand. And because it is for masses, now they could penetrate the different marketing they can penetrate into a new marketing by adopting a different penetrating strategies, right? The chief advantage lies in the fact that developmental cost and the corporate efforts required for developing every time new product being conceptualized and individualized will be high. What is the disadvantage? That because it impacts the cost, and that company has to shell out more amount for the development cost, right? And it requires more efforts to develop that product as a brand, to develop a new brand. That is, it is not cost effective, right? Company has to shell out more money, right? For developing the product as a brand, or for development of a new brand, right? Distributors brand policy, that was the manufacturer's brand policy if they want to create a brand on the name of the manufacturers. Excuse me. Shit. Distributors brand policy. An alternative to manufacturer brand policy is distributor brand policy, right, which comes handy and are relevant in absence of the firm strength in marketing and adequate financial resources to build a strong brand and compete when the competition in the market or in the industry is high, right, when the manufacturer is not well known, right, that is and that they lack the adequate financial resources, right, and there is much competition in the industry, then this distributor brand policy comes handy, right. It plays a very important role. The distributor or marketing organization has strength in the market, customer have confidence in it, and hence his bargaining power with the manufacturing is high. So see, the distributor of that product or the marketing organization has strength in its market, customer have confidence in it, that they are confident about the distributor, right. So their bargaining power with the manufacturer could be high. In such a situation, it may be advisable to market the product under the distributor brand name, right, rather than using that manufacturer names, right, when manufacturer is not well known, or another thing is when the manufacturer don't have the adequate financial resources, right, then it is advisable, or when the industry is highly competitive, then it is advisable that they should create a brand on the distributor's name, right. They should use the distributor brand policy. There are various risks associated with this strategy, like loss of control over the product marketing, right. When you start using the name of the distributor, then the manufacturer lose the control over the product marketing. Then it depends on the distributor how they will market their product. You lose the control over the marketing of the product. If the product succeed, the premium may go to the distributor and not to the manufacturer, and if in case the product succeeds, then the premium goes to the distributor, not to the manufacturer, and the distributor may not extend the desired marketing support to the brand. And again, there could be the chances that the distributor might not extend the desired marketing support to the brand, right. There could be any reason for this. Mixed brand policy is an alternative to the manufacturer brand policy as well as the distributor brand policy, right. That is, it is mix of the two option, right. That is the firm to enter into the strategic alliance with a well-known marketing firm and allow it to market the product under its name in a well-defined geographical area, and a manufacturer also confirms to market product under his own name nationally, right. So the mixed brand policy is when the both the it is an alternative to that manufacturer brand policy and the distributor brand policy, that it is a strategic alliance, right, that the manufacturer enters into a strategic alliance with a well-known marketing firm and allow it to market the product under its name in a well-defined geographical area. In a well-defined geographical area, you can market the product, and the manufacturer also confirm that market the product under his own name, national name, right. So they make alliance with both, right. They make certain policies, right, which will be beneficial to both the distributor as well as to the manufacturer, right. They can work on those policies or the conditions. Brand name. What is the brand name? Every product in the market is identifiable by a specific name. given by its maker called the brand name. Right? What is brand name? See, every product in the market is given a name. Right? Every product in the marketplace is identified by its specific name, and this specific name is given by the maker of that product, and that is known as the brand name. Thus, identifying and selecting an appropriate brand name is the first and the most crucial step in managing a brand. Right? A brand could be a sign, a symbol, right? That identifies and distinguishes the one product from the other. Right? So, what is the brand name? What is every product in the market is identified by a specific name. Right? And this name is given by its maker, and it is called the brand name. And that is the selection of an appropriate brand name is the first and the most crucial step in managing a brand. Right? It's an important step, and this brand name could be a symbol, could be a sign, or could be a name, right, which distinguishes the one product from the other. Right? The word with meaning not necessarily related to the product represents. Right? That is not necessary that the name of the product should resemble with the product, related to the product. The name could be different. Right? It is a word with the meaning not necessarily related to the product. It represents like Amritanjan Balm, like Cherry Blossom, Sprite, right, and Raymond's, and many other names. That is not required that the name should resemble with the product. Right? The name of manufacturer of the product, right? It could be like it is not that is Bata, right, or HMT or Titan, right? Doesn't mean that it should resemble with the product, right? The word with the meaning not necessarily related with the product. Right? They are like HMT, Hindustan Machine something, right? So, it is not necessary that it should be related to the product. Tata Salt, right? The name is given to the salt, that is the Tata Salt, right? That how does it relate to the salt? Tata. Right? The combination, but it is related to the manufacturer, the name of the manufacturer of the product. Right? So, the name has been given on the name of the manufacturer. The combination of numerical or alphabets like L18 or CBZ 150, right? So, Maruti 800, right? So, combination of numericals and alphabet could be there. So, what is the brand name? Brand name is, it is required that a name, sign or a symbol given to each product for its identification by the maker of that product is known as the brand name. And choosing a brand name is a crucial process, right? And it is not required that the brand name should resemble with the related to the product, right? It is not required that it should be related to the product, like, right? The word whose meaning suggests some function or quality of the product. For example, the brand name like Surya or Sleep Well, Head and Shoulder, Clean and Clear, that is Glow and Lovely, right? Decode, etc. indirectly indicate the use of the product. It is not required. Actually, it is not required that the brand name should resemble with the product. But if in case it resembles with the product, there are two reasons behind that. That is, the one reason is that it indirectly indicates the use of the product, and it becomes easier for the customer to remember that name, right? In cold and cough, right, what we remember? Decode, because we want a that is the medicine for the cold. I am suffering from cold. I don't, maybe I may not remember the name of other medicines, but Decode is too easy to remember. So, it helps in this gives this indirectly indicates the use of the product, and it helps in creating a niche, a special niche in the customer, because it becomes easier for the customer to remember that name. Clean and Clear or Glow and Lovely, now the name has changed, right? Glow and Lovely. Head and Shoulder, right, or Surya Light, or Sleep Well, right, Sleep Well mattress, right, we remember all these things, right, become easy. A brand name may impact the buyer's perceptions about the product. No doubt that the brand name impact the buyer's perception about the product, right? If the two brands are offering the same type of a product, a well-known brand name, we consider that brand or that product of the well-known brand name is good, right? They could provide us more features, right? Brand name are often conceived and used in establishing an overall product concept, right? So brand names plays a very important role in overall product concept. Strong brand name become the generic name of the product. For instance, brand like Surf, Dalda, Maggi, right, used to be synonyms with the detergent, vegetables, and the mini trucks, Tempo, right. So a strong brand name, that is this, like Xerox, right. Xerox is the name of the company, it's a brand name, right. Now what we say, we need a Xerox copy of this. Xerox becomes a generic name of the product, right. While that machines created by the Xerox photostat machine, we say we need a Xerox copy. So a strong brand name becomes at times becomes the generic name of the product, like Maggi, right, that becomes the generic name for the noodles, right. So strong brand name becomes the generic name of the product, right, like Dalda. When we need a ghee, what we say? Dalda. There are many other options available, like Dalda, Rath, right, and Dhara, many options available, but what we say, we need Dalda, right. That is vegetable oil, that Dalda is synonym to vegetable oil. Surf, right, rather than saying that we need detergent, right, it could be Ariel, it could be Rin, it could be Surf, or it could be of any other company, what we say, we need a Surf. Same with the toothpaste, right. Majority of people in India still say Colgate. That Colgate is generic name for the toothpaste, right. But we need Colgate, while it's a brand name for the toothpaste. But rather than saying that we need Miswak or Close Up or Promise or any other brand, we say Colgate, right. So at times that brand name becomes the generic name of the product. A good brand name has number quality, something that stays in the buyer's mind. He derives some recognition and status from using brand names, right. So as I said, like some brand name stays in the buyer's mind, right, and it derives a recognition and status from the using certain brands, right. See, apart from identifying the marketer producers of the product, branding assures that buyer of some consistency and quality standards, creating a brand confidence and repeat purchases, right. Some brand names creates a special niche in the mind of the consumers, right. They derive some recognition and status from using the certain brands, right. Apart from identifying the marketer products, right, marketer producers of the product, that the quality and the standard plays a very important role in creating a brand confidence and the repeat purchases. If that product maintains the quality and the standard and the consistency in the quality and the standards in the quality, that creates a brand confidence and the repeat purchases, right. It is essential and also mandatory for the marketer or producer to register brand name under the Indian Trade and Merchandise Act for protection and prevention of imitation, right. So how to build a brand, right. It is very important to build a brand. Now we know what that brand is very important, right. Brand is creating a niche in the mind of the customer, right. It's a conscious building a brand is a conscious effort and a well planned and a systematically executed, right, efforts. It's a conscious effort, it is a well planned effort and a systematically executed effort, right. First is identification of key customer group or segment, right. Important thing is to build a brand, it is important to identify the key customer or segment to whom you want to offer your product. Identify the target or group or the target audience to whom you want to offer your product. Understand the customer expectations, needs and aspirations. Try to understand their needs, their aspirations, what they want. Assessing the competitive offering including substitutes, right. And then assess the competitors and the substitutes available in the market, then only you can create a brand. So to create a brand, it is very important that you should first of all identify the target customer or target audience, then understand the customer expectations and aspirations, what they expect and aspire, and assess the competitive offering including the substitute. Building a customer confidence by customizing the product. How you can build a confidence in the customer? By customizing the product as per their needs and wants. What I said is understanding the customer expectations, needs and aspirations, and you can by understanding the needs, customers needs, expectations and aspirations, right, you can create a confidence in the customer by customizing the product, right, by the customizing the product as per the needs and wants or the aspirations of the customer. Establishing a key image of the brand, right, that is what is the key image of the brand, on what preposition you want to create a brand, right, that is the preposition, the key preposition of the brand. Dealer support, easy availability and push, right. Then if then what plays an important role in creating a brand? Dealer support, right. You should have a well defined and a very good distribution network, and dealers should support your product, and your product should be easily available, and dealers should push your product. Then innovative communication including effective use of social media, promotion scheme, right. There could be many other ways for innovative communication. Ensuring consumer engagement through emotional and the functional value association. Engage your customers. How you can engage your customer? Through emotional and other functional value associations. Through this you can create a brand, that is by customizing the product as per the requirement of the customer, right. Establishing the key image of the brand, right, that is the understand the key factors, right, on which you want to create a brand, right. Then dealer support is required. Your product should be easily available and it needs a push in the market. That innovative communication, communicate innovatively through social media and the traditional media. And another is ensuring the consumer engagement, emotional consumer engagement and the value association, right. And it results in what? It results in that is inputs which identify the customer, understand the customer, and output, it results in the market share, right. When you are doing all these things, or when you are taking all these steps, it results in the market share, right. You would be able to achieve the market share. Customer retention, it helps in retaining the customer, because when you engage with the customer, when you communicate your things to the customer, it helps in the customer retention as well as attraction of new customer. It attracts the new customer, right. And then customer loyalty, it makes the customer loyal to the brand or the product, and it increases the productivity, right. How it increases the profitability and the productivity when you are able to retain your customer, when your customer are loyal to you, and you are able to attract new customer, it helps in increased profitability and the brand knowledge. People come to know about the brand, right. When people come to know about the brand, it will attract a new customer, right. So I hope this is clear. Brand name. What is the brand name? Brand name is the name given to identify the product by the in the market by the maker of that product. Right, the name could be given, the name could the brand name could be what, the brand name could be the family brand name or an individual brand name for the product. That depends on the strategy of the company. The company has to decide whether they want to extend their family brand name to the product or whether they want to give a new brand name to the product, right? So brand name, it could be the sign, symbol or the name, or it could be alphanumeric. It could be sign, it could be symbol, it could be name, it could be alphanumeric name, anything could be brand name, right? Brand name like Samsung, brand name like LG, brand name like that is Apple, right? All these are the brand names. Brand image. Brand image is the perception of brand in the mind of the customer. It is an aggregate of the belief, idea and impression that the customer holds regarding the brand, right? The term brand image reflects and signifies the distinctions, reputation and goodwill as perceived by the consumer, right? So what is the brand image? Brand image, as the name suggests, image of the brand, right? Where in the mind of the customer, right? So brand image is what? Brand image is the perception of the brand in the mind of the customer. That is the brand image. That is, what is brand image? Is the perception of the brand in the mind of the customer. It is an aggregate of belief, idea and impression that a customer hold regarding the brand. The term brand image reflects and signifies the distinction, reputation and the goodwill perceived by the consumer. So what is the brand image? That is the perception of an individual, right? Perception of an individual about the brand. Perception of brand in the mind of the customer. That is brand image. How you consider that product. And the term brand image reflects the significant distinctions and reputation and goodwill as perceived by the consumer, right? A good brand image means a goodwill, or a good reputation in the mind of about that product or about that brand in the mind of the customer, right? So I hope this is clear, right? We will continue with this in our next lecture, right? Till then, namaskar.